Hello, this is Sohan, and today we'll be discussing about social science syllabus for session 2024-25 for class 10th CBSE board. Students, as you do know that social science is divided into four parts. The first one is history, that is also known as India and the Contemporary World, part 2. The second one is geography, that is Contemporary India, part 2. And the next one is political science, that is Democratic Politics, part 2. And the last one is economics, understanding economic. So let me take you through history portion. History is divided into three important sections. Okay, so first we'll be talking about section number 1, that is events and processes. In this particular section, we're going to have two important chapters. Chapter number 1, the rise of nationalism in Europe, and the second one is nationalism in India. Students, let me take you through the next section, that is livelihoods, economies, and societies. From this particular section, we're going to have one chapter, that is the making of a global world. Okay, from that particular chapter we're going to have subtopics 1 to 1.3. okay, subtopics 1 to 1.3. Pre-modern world to conquest, disease and trade will be evaluated in the CBSE board examination. Subtopics 2 to 4.4. The 19th century to end of Bretton Woods and the beginning of globalization will be the part of interdisciplinary project. Okay, it's a part of multiple assessment. So these portions will not be evaluated in the board examination. Is the age of industrialization. It is also part of section 2. Okay, but this chapter will not be evaluated in the board examination. Okay, it is to be assessed as a part of periodic assessment only. Okay, now let me take you to the next and last portion of history, that is everyday life, culture and politics. From this particular section, we're going to have one chapter, that is print culture and the modern world. We can say that 3.5 chapters will be given in history. Okay, again I'm going to remind you, chapter number 1, the rise of nationalism in Europe. Chapter number 2, nationalism in India. Chapter number 3, the making of a global world. Only subtopics 1 to 1.3 will be evaluated in the board examinations. Okay, and the last one is print culture and the modern world. These 3.5 chapters will be given in. Okay, students, now we can discuss about the next segment, that is geography, contemporary India, part 2. In this particular segment, we're going to have 7 chapters. Chapter number 1, resources and development. Chapter number 2, forest and wildlife resources. Chapter number 3, water resources. Chapter number 4, agriculture. Chapter number 5, minerals and energy resources. And chapter number 6, manufacturing industries. These 6 chapters will be evaluated in the board examination. But what about chapter number 7? Chapter number 7, that is lifelines of national economy. Only map pointing to be evaluated in the board examination. Understood? One more thing which I would like to add on over here, that is from history 2 map based questions will be given, and from a geography portion 3 map based questions will be given. Total 2 plus 3, 5. Okay, now let me take you to the next segment, that is political science, democratic politics, part 2. In this particular segment, we're going to have 5 important chapters. Chapter number 1, power sharing. Then after chapter number 2, federalism. Then after chapter number 3, gender, religion and caste. Then after we're going to have chapter number 4, political parties. And the last one, chapter number 5, outcomes of democracy. Okay, now moving ahead, we'll be discussing about economics. We're going to have 4 important chapters. Chapter number 1, development. Chapter number 2, sectors of the Indian economy. And chapter number 3, money and credit. But what about chapter number 4? Very important. Chapter number 4, globalization and the Indian economy. In this particular chapter, we're going to have some certain portion. Okay, and these certain portions are evaluated in the board examination. So what certain portions are evaluated in the board examination? Point number 1, what is globalization, and the second one is factors that have enabled globalization. These two portions will be evaluated in the board examination. But what about the other 4 points, like production across the countries, Chinese toys in India, World Trade Organization, the struggle for a fair points are from interdisciplinary project as a part of multiple assessment. I hope you can understand. There is consumer rights. This chapter will be given as a project.